Pat's message to you guys last night after that one?
Basically, just to learn from the past 5 games, and try to get ready for the Big Ten tournament. I know it's been tough for us lately, but we've been putting in a lot of work on both ends of the court. So we're gonna learn from these experiences and get ready, try to win as many games as possible.
Shep, have you shared anything about playing in the Big Ten tournament with the younger guys or plan to, or is it just we're just gonna go play ball?
Basically, just one game at a time. Just try to take it one game at a time. Try to get the job done. You can't look forward. You can't even think about the past. You gotta try to get it done that one day. It's one day at a time, and I think one day at a time is basically the best way to describe it at this point in time in the year. So that's the best way to help.
How have you guys dealt with the frustration of the last 5 games and maybe trying to keep the guys positive throughout that stretch?
Just trying to basically come into practice and come in with a positive mindset as to trying just to get better. Do all the little things, watch film, individually and as a team, just to see where we went wrong in different situations and try to learn from them. So basically when we get in them situations in the game, we can apply the knowledge that we gain from watching film and practicing and help us. That's the main thing though. Just trying to get better every day and try to win each day. Whether it's with a practice or shooting or whatever. So I think more days we win, the better chances we'll have to win more games in the future.
Are there any specific situations that have kind of stood out on film?
Maybe like an offensive rebound here and there, or a miss fake and deny or something like that. Just little things that always could come back to bite you in possession basketball late in the season.
So what are the goals going into a tournament like this for both of you guys? I mean, do you look big picture, or is it simply one game at a time?
I would just say it's one game at a time. We just have to take it one day at a time, like Shep been saying. He talked to us, talked to the team, and just let us know that it's a 5-day tournament. We just have to take it one day at a time and focus on the task at hand, which is Nebraska. So I would just say it's one day at a time.
What do you guys take from the previous game against Nebraska that maybe you did well or didn't do well?
We didn't talk about the previous game yet. I'm sure Coach has clips that he wants us to look at and diagnose a little deeper, but we just want to play hard and put our best foot forward for the game on Wednesday.
It's a pretty easy trip from Philly down to D.C. How excited are you guys to have a tournament? I know you haven't played in one yet, but to have a Big Ten tournament in D.C. on the East Coast.
It's always good to have support in the stands. That's always a help. But we focus on Nebraska. I mean, it's not about the outside. I mean, we trying to get it done on the basketball court. That's the main thing at this point. We trying to get better every day. Get better tomorrow, starting tomorrow, and then try to win a game. Try to win a basketball game. That's the main focus. One day at a time.
Shep, you've been around the block a couple times, so you know kind of how to handle the frustrations and the ups and downs of a season. What do you think? How do you think Tony's going to handle frustrations in 3 years versus how a guy as a freshman might handle it? I mean, he's been an even keeled guy, but just the experiences, from freshman year to junior year to senior year. I mean, what's different now about how you handle that than how you used to?
Well, experience always helps everything. When you're young, you feel like it's the end of the world when things don't go your way. But Tony's been doing great. He's like you say, he's mild mannered, even killed guy, and I rarely see him sweat. So that's always a positive. I'm not really worried about him, getting overly frustrated or out of character. He's a great dude, great guy, and I have the utmost confidence in him. So as far as that, I'm not worried about that at all with Tony, at all.
Where were you? I mean, thinking back to kind of where you were, when you were a freshman and you were experiencing all this. I mean, do you remember what it was like when you go from being successful in high school, where you're the guy, to losing a little bit and trying to adjust?
It's an adjustment. It's definitely an adjustment. But you grow up. It was older guys here, so I asked a lot of questions, and I talk to Coach a lot, and he does the same thing. And it's an adjustment for him, I know. it is, but you know he asks a lot of questions. He's not afraid to ask questions. So that's the one thing that I think he did different than I did. Like I asked questions, but he asked a lot of questions. So he's always ahead of the game. You know he's up there talking to coach. He talked to me a lot. So he keeping his positive foot forward.
You always kind of been a guy with a ton of questions, Tony? Has that always been you, or?
I kind of just been a guy to try to just fill situations out and just kind of just take my lumps as they come and just try to learn from it. But I kind of wanted to change once I got here and just kind of just be a sponge, just kind of under Shep and just kind of learn from all the things that he's learned from his previous years here and just how to just deal with different adversities throughout the season and throughout the school year. So I'm just trying to be a sponge here and just pick up as much as I can.
Has it been, Tony, a learning experience to learn how to lead? It's easier to lead on a team that wins a lot. It's harder to lead on a team, that has got to go through that adversity. And you're learning how to go through that adversity, and you're learning how to lead through it at the same time.
Yeah, I've always been a guy who just tries to lead by example per se. So I was kind of vocal with my high school team, but like you said, we was winning most of the games, so we kind of just let ourselves. But just being here and dealing with the adversity of losing some games has definitely made me, I would say, a much better player, and just trying to just get through certain nights and certain matchups where we might be undermanned or overwhelmed. So it definitely gives me a different perspective of how to lead on a team like this where we're not winning as many games as I'm used to. But just having Shep here is just helping me helping me through this whole situation because he's kind of been here and knows how to react to certain things and how to talk to certain guys. So I just kind of just follow his lead and try to lead in my own way at the same time.
And how are you feeling right now? I mean, it's been a long,
My body is having a little wear and tear on it, but my mental is great. I feel very confident going into the Big Ten tournament where everybody's record is 0-0 and is at a neutral site. So I'm just very excited to go into the game Wednesday and play my first Big Ten tournament game.
Pat talked with us about you guys needing to kind of have a lot of armor and not worry about what people are saying from the outside, and that you guys are so close to taking that next step, even though it might not reflect in this year's record. Do you guys sense that it's like you guys are right there, but
I would definitely say I sense that. Just we're in so many 1-point or 2-point games coming down the stretch that we just can't kind of get over that hump. But as far as the outside voices go, everybody gonna have something to say when you losing, but when you winning, everybody's on your side. So I don't really pay attention to people or naysayers that are outside of our circle. Only we know what's going on inside the locker room, inside those lines in practice. So we just focus on that and try to just win games.
Is it difficult to tune it out? I mean, because you guys are, the social media everywhere. You're in class, whatever.
I mean, I don't think it's that difficult. We're a tight knit family here, so it's about us. It's about us. Everybody's gonna have something to say. So we do a good job of tuning it out and just locking in. Doing what we have to do to, win the day.
Yeah. I would just piggyback off that with saying 95% of the time we're around each other, and our social media is a big part of it, but you don't really pay attention to that. And just speak from my perspective, either I'm going to class or I'm going to study hall. I'm not really walking around like trying to listen to what other people outsiders have to say about what's going on in our situation. So I just try to focus on the team and what's best for us.
Do you have to kind of develop that thick skin, or is that something? I mean, when you got here, Shep, as a freshman, would you look at social media and that kind of stuff, or?
Well, where we come from, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of outside voices, and everybody's gonna have something to say. So coming in here, especially at Roman, coming in here, I was kind of used to having a thick skin, so it wasn't really that hard for me to adjust as far as that's concerned. In Philly and Chester, everybody's got something to say, whether you're winning or losing. So, you kind of used to it. I know he's the same way.
Yeah.
He called me a bunch of times in high school. I was just telling him, you already know the drill.
We keep talking about the negative, but I noticed for you, Tony, there's a group of people that have decided to call you the young pope. I mean, have you noticed some of the positives? I mean, it's got to be nice to show up here and have people, for all of the negative things that come around, know that there are guys out there that
to actually
Gotcha.
see the future and
Yeah.
the vision that I saw coming here. That definitely means a lot, just knowing that you have some supporters. You know, a lot of people just tend to pray on your downfall and hope that you do bad. So, like you said, just to have the supporters, see they called me the young Pope or whatever that whatever that nickname is. It's funny, you know. You just, it is good to see that you have supporters and people that have your best interest at the end of the day, I would say.
You talked about that vision for the future. How hard has it been to keep that vision kind of in your sights and you know keep believing in it?
I would say it hasn't been hard at all. You know, when I came here, I knew this wasn't going to be like a overnight process of us just being one of the best teams in the Big Ten my first year, or like you know, everything's a process. You don't just jump into something and just make it in one day. So I knew coming here that it wasn't going to be all roses and giggles. It was going to be some tough times, and we was going to have to get through some things. But I would say I'm definitely willing to put in the time and effort to make sure that this turns out the way that we all want it to be.